I am Farrukh Nadeem here with a new tutorial from Aspire. In the last tutorial, we discussed view, the view pattern, and knitting. In that, I gave you some tasks, showed you some simple examples, and asked you to practice them. I hope you have practiced because it was a very easy method, and I had already taught you the basic techniques. So, Pesky, today, we will create the same things here that I assigned you as practice in the last session. For that, we will create a new file. Here, I am taking a new file of 12 inches by 12 inches. I will draw a line from here to here, and then I will array this line. To array the line, I have selected it. For the array, I have kept only one row, and for columns, I will set 13. The gap between them will be 1 inch. We don't need any gap in the Y direction because we only have one row. I copied it using group copy. So as you can see, the entire set has been applied up to here. In the same way, now I will copy and paste this and then rotate it by 90 degrees. As soon as I rotate it to 90 degrees, you can see that both sets intersect each other, just like a mesh is formed. Now we need to create a cross-section for these. Always remember, a cross-section is always made with an open profile, not a closed profile. So for the cross-section, I have drawn a rectangle here. Let's adjust the measurements of the rectangle here. I set its width to 0.15 and its height to 0.25, and then I apply it. So as you can see, if you scale this object here, you will get those values. Whatever shape you want to give to the cross-section, you need to maintain that shape. I will go to the node with the end command, right-click here to add a node, and then grab this node. You can move it down by 2, 3, or 4 points, however much you want. After that, use the flare command. I use the flare command with 0.1 and add it around on this side as well as on that side. It's up to you. You can make it as big or as small as you like. This was a rectangle, so I moved it up a little. When I do it, the rectangle becomes a closed object, but we don't want a closed object. I had requested you earlier as well that the cross-section should be an open vector. So to open it, we have two ways. One is to draw a line and trim it. The second way is to use the node tool to cut the vector, then cut the corner as well and remove the middle line. In this way, our cross-section is also created for this purpose. We use this cross-section. Now let's move on to modeling. In modeling, I select both the horizontal and vertical lines, and here I activate the command for a strange wave, and in this, a strange wave company with 1. And with the help of this U selection, I selected its cross-section. As soon as the cross-section is selected, you need to turn on its view here. It'll turn off the scale because the size of the cross-section should be applied as it is. There is no need to specifically adjust its thickness or height. Normally, though, the values we use are around 70, and we set this one to approximately 150 or 40. So I set it here, and then switch to the 3D view. When you apply it, it will take a little processing time. So as you can see, it has created those waves by kneeling, which are passing over another line. We practiced this yesterday, that if we don't turn on the wave here, it will create a mesh like this. But since our current exercise is focused on the wave, apply the wave and create it like this. Now, increasing or decreasing its height is something you've already practiced. You can now adjust and create them from here. Look at this. You can see it here. Let's set it to an appropriate size, somewhere in the 50 to 60 range, because here its curvature had increased. This main design is complete, and now the last main exercise in this was to cut it in a circular shape. So to cut it, we go into the 2D view. And here, I will go into the drawing and create a circle. I took this circle from its center. And you can make the circle in whatever size you want. Now, I will apply a radius of 5.75 to it and close it. All right, so here, this is our complete view for now. A tendine We have just designed a boundary for the area we want to cut. So how are we going to manage this boundary that we have just created? See, here I have selected this 3D object, and while holding Shift, select the 3D object, and with Shift, you also need to select this circle or the selected item that you want to use for trimming. So here we have two features available. The first feature is clear area of selected component inside selected. And here we have clear area of selected component outside selected. Now, there are two options. Either we keep the inside part of the factor or the outside part. Basically, the icons also make it clear which is which. If I apply this feature with inside selected, you can see that it has kept the outer border and removed the inner part. But that's not what we need. What do we want? Let me show you. I'll start this again. And I want to remove the outside and keep the inner design. So now I have the design I wanted. Viewers, this was the trimming of a 3D object. And now we want to work on its base in the same way. We want to fill the base where you can see holes going all the way through. I'm going to fill them. You already know the command. Last time we discussed it as well. Here we have a circle placed. Set this circle, go back to modeling, select it again, and here turn on create shape. Then while turning on flat profile, apply thickness with minus. This is 0.5, I'll set it to 0.05. Now, in 3D, you can see everything from the side as well. Now, the more thickness you add here, for example, you'll see that its height will increase from the bottom accordingly. You can see that it's filled now. You can raise it as much as you want. Secondly, it's filled here as well. And here too, it's filled. If you do that, it will overlap on top of it. For example, our size was 2.5. Here I am setting it to 0.1. So this 0.1 will basically cover the area. It will cover the design that is already created. Look at this. This design is already created. This is covering it. I am adding a value of 0.05 to this. Please pay attention. See this, as if the water level is rising from below. In the same way, the thickness from below is increasing upwards, penetrating through the design and coming out. So if we turn on this feature from here, the thickness that we are currently giving it, this base height that we are setting is being added along with the design. It is not being added into the design itself. It is being added along with the design from the bottom side. So in this way, we have also completed its filling. You can easily make the thickness at the bottom as much as you want. Let's move forward. Now we also need to add a border to the side of this. To add the border, we can use the same circle that we placed here. Using this same circle, use the extrude wave, and for the cross section, I will use this object. Now, there will be a problem here. I will cancel this. The outer space here will interfere with it. I have set both the 3D and the 2D designs. Make them a little smaller. All right, now to create its border, I selected this circle and set the extrude wave. In its selection, I chose the cross section and turned off the wave from here. Apply it, then go to the 3D view and look at it. And your design is complete. Now, here we will add the draft to it. Which ones need to have the draft added? Look, this one and this one. I am adding the draft to these two components. All right, when you add the draft to both of these, it might ask you to bake them. So what happens when you bake is that it removes its composition, its specific specifications. So what does that mean? First, let's apply the draft to it. Look, I'm applying the draft at 20 degrees. I saw that it added the draft at 20 degrees and then closed it. So, Nasteen, this is that assignment. As I told you, we would work on this, and I hope you have benefited from it. I would also like to create another assignment right here along with this cross action. But before that, let me add one more small feature for you. For example, you have created a design and you want to present it to your client. For the client's presentation, you need a rendered view, whether as a bitmap, PNG, or any other format. So first of all, turn on its lights and so on here. Look, turn on its lights and also use shadows in it. See here, it has used shadows inside it. Just like you would use shadows in this. After that, save the shadow image. Here, I render the image and place it on the desktop. This is a PNG, it's in GIF, BMP, JPG. You can save it in whichever format you want. I save this file with the name views. And here you can see that the file named views has appeared on the desktop. This is the file you need to present to the customer. You can see it here. So this was one feature, it's rendering. In this, rendering happens in the same way in the light form. I am creating a new file. And the new file will also be 12 inches wide here. Let's assume the same size here. And I am setting it at 0 degrees here. The distance between the waves, I set to 1. After that, I set its height to 0.5 and its length to 1 as well. So preview it and see. Here we have its preview. Now I'll increase them here. The height is fine, but I'll set it to 2 here and adjust its length as well. So this wave is created for me. After making this wave, you'll need a straight line. I drew a straight line from here to here, and it's very easy. You just need to count its edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Today is its turn. Here it's the same one we did earlier. If I do it here, let's see, it has created it here. So here is, we will create a cross section. To make the cross section, we will use the same method we used before. Now let's change it a little bit. I have drawn an ellipse. After drawing the ellipse, look here, I have drawn this ellipse here. After drawing the ellipse, I took its positions straight down from here and did the same on this side as well. If I use the ellipse on the inner side like this, it goes inward from here, which is not possible for machining. I will use the trim command. With the trim command, I brought this part outside and moved it out from here so that you can see it clearly. I drew a line along which I want to trim it there. So I place the line and use the trim command, trimming from both sides. And look at this. Now we have an object saved. This is our object, and it will be used as a cross section. I selected both of these objects. Practice went to the modeling section, and from there we take a command for a stoneway, and you should have already selected your rails. Go to use selection and assign the cross section to it. Then turn on the way here, turn off its scale and apply it. Now, if you go to the 3D view, you can see that this thing has been created. So viewers, I hope that today's session will be very beneficial for you. You must have found it very useful. God willing, we'll meet in the next session with some new commands and new techniques. To subscribe to the channel and be sure to share it with your friends and loved ones, because when you share this with others, knowledge will spread. And you too will become part of this ongoing charity. Please allow me to take my leave now. Thank you very much.